What is up, guys? This is your boy Superior Simmer, and today I have more drama to talk about in the Sims community. If you guys like news, updates, and discussions, please hit the sub button, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. I also do have an affiliate link with inZOI to bring you guys cheaper Sims packs. If you guys click the link in the description and type in Sims, you'll see a bunch of deals for the Sims 3 and the Sims 4. If you guys are planning on buying the Sims 4 Love Struck, you will get it at a 29% discount. Without further ado, let's get into the drama. Okay, so since the release of more gameplay footage from inZOI and the character creator that we got recently, there's been so many back and forths with Sims 4 versus inZOI. There's been so many different opinions and perspectives on whether or not inZOI is going to, kill the Sims franchise. I've seen so many Simmers who've seen the gameplay footage or played the character creator that recently came out saying that as soon as inZOI releases, they are jumping ship. I've seen so many people also say that just like the excitement for inZOI and the fact that people do feel like it will kill the Sims franchise is just like really extra, and people are just like blowing it out of proportion. But honestly, this is the internet. Everything is always just made bigger than what it actually is. Now, to be fair, I don't really understand that statement, because at the end of the day, The Sims 4 has been on a steady decline and it's only gotten worse. I think we can all agree and say that it is about time that The Sims has gotten some competition. I'm not really surprised that people are acting like inZOI is a savior for all simulation games. Based off what we've seen so far with the gameplay and the character creator, inZOI is shaping up to be one of the best simulation games to come out. Now, of course, there's still a lot of unknowns that we don't know about inZOI. I know a lot of people have been talking about the microtransactions. PUBG is another IP that Crafton owns, and that has a lot of microtransactions. So people do feel like it's going to be a similar situation when it comes to inZOI. Also, not to mention the fact that inZOI is very, very demanding to play. I've seen a lot of Simmers, including you guys, say that you guys weren't even able to play the character creator because the game is just way too demanding. A lot of people opted out from playing because their computers just cannot handle inZOI system requirements. But it's very clear to see that this is a passion project. This is a game that's being made for players by players, people who just have passion for simulation games. Again, inZOI is a hyper realistic simulation game. It's open world, but at the same time, I don't think like it's revolutionizing anything crazy. And that's not to say that it won't later down the line. I feel like kind of just the bare minimum for what people want in an open world game. We've seen this before with The Sims 3. The Sims 3 was open world. You could drive cars, go to different places. There wasn't any loading screens. We have the creative style tool. And I feel like personally, that's what The Sims 4 should have been, was basically The Sims 3, but just, better graphics, better gameplay. And I feel like inZOI is finally scratching that itch that players have been wanting from a life sim. I can't believe I said that scratch part. That scratch part was so cringe, but it's true. It's true. I'm seeing so many people just in awe of the game. And what's crazy too is just the exposure. This game is reaching to so many different types of audiences, so many different types of players. People who don't even play simulation games are invested in this game, because I've seen so many people compare it to GTA 6, which I find so hilarious. But that's the point I'm trying to make. There's just been so much buzz around this game. It's honestly insane, because I don't think The Sims 4 has ever had such a big impact like inZOI has off just like early introductions. And again, I could be wrong when I say that, but I feel like just the advertisement as well, it feels like it's advertised for everybody and not just like one single group. Like, it's not just for the sim girlies, it's not just for the simmer bros. You can tell this is a game that anyone can jump into and play, and I feel like that's a really big thing, and I feel like that's what's going to set them apart from The Sims 4 as of right now. So it's a pretty good time to be in the simulation genre, because there's so many other games releasing, like Paralives. People shouldn't count out as well, because Paralives could definitely be like that balance of the two, and I feel like if people with like mid to low end PCs will be able to play that, compared to like inZOI, which again, you need like a supercomputer to play. So yeah, I feel like each life sim, including The Sims, definitely has its own unique reason why you would want to play it. Now, granted, I don't want inZOI to kill The Sims. If anything, I want The Sims to succeed, because again, I did grow up with Sims. I grew up with the characters, the lore, the heart of what Sims is. So for me, my loyalty will always be with Sims. But if a game like inZOI can do it better and give us what players actually want, then it really is up to the Sims team to give us that. I feel like we can all agree that The Sims 4 has overstayed its welcome. I feel like it's run its course. The engine that it's been on has its limitations, and I don't think any expansion pack, kit, DLC, whatever is going to change that. The Sims 4 is a very fun game, but it's not without its drawbacks, its limits, and just the simple fact that it's a step backwards, in my opinion, from what I've played. I feel like everyone expected like a continuation of The Sims 3, because that was such an ambitious game, and The Sims 4 didn't really deliver. And again, I love The Sims 4 when it comes to storytelling purposes, I didn't really mind the loading screens, but I think it is time to kind of level up from that and get something that is ambition, that has a lot of passion. And right now I feel like that's what inZOI is doing. So I hope that will like ignite that flame for them to start making the Sims 5 or turn Project Renee into what we wanted with the Sims 3. Now, of course, with all this competition, there's also a lot of drama I've been seeing on my timeline. Now, one of the biggest things I've seen people talk about is just like the realisticness of the inZOI characters. I'm not gonna lie, when I was using the character creator to create just inZOIs for fun, I was kind of taken back on how super high realistic they were. Like, they were literally staring into my soul, and it was something I was not used to. Again, I don't understand why people also like get upset when people say these things. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting a cartoonish look for your games. I feel like when it is hyper realistic, I want something that isn't too real but also does have realism to it, if that makes sense. So I feel like a mix of like the cartoony vibes with like realness is like what I would want. So something kind of similar to like what the Sims has been doing. Like, they do look kind of cartoonish, but they do also look like real people. Now inZOI does have like these different filters that you can use, which I feel like doesn't really help, but it is there if you guys want to like change the filters and stuff, which is cool. But yeah, it is very realistic and not a lot of people are fans of that. And of course, guys, please comment down below like how you guys feel about the whole like realness of like inZOI. But that is one thing I've seen a lot of people talk about, is just like the realistic vibes just kind of like freaking them out a bit, and I can understand why. It is something definitely that I have to get used to. I'm not like against it, it's not something I would prefer personally, but it is something I could get used to if I play the game over time. So yeah. Now, one of the biggest issues people have been having with inZOI is the fact that there's an AI generator built into the game. So that's like a big issue. I mean, it's really just split down the middle. Like, you either like inZOI or you don't. And this was like a big like kind of like red flag for a lot of people, basically saying that they're not going to play the game strictly because of this AI generator. But yeah, comment down below how you guys feel about that stuff, because I don't know, I'm kind of indifferent on it. Like, I understand the issue with it because it's taking stuff from like online and then putting it into the game for you. For me, it's like, if you don't want to support that stuff, just not use the feature at all. You know what I mean? Like, just pick and choose. I feel like there's always going to be stuff in the game that people just don't like, so I feel like that's just one thing like I would just ignore if you still want to play inZOI. But I guess it's like the principle of it on like why you wouldn't want to do that. So I don't know. Definitely comment down below how you guys feel about that. Now, this is where the drama starts. So the biggest thing I've been seeing is a bunch of people also upset at the fact that inZOI is partnered up with CurseForge. Again, Overwolf, who owns CurseForge, is an Israeli company, which is in support of what's going on with Palestine. So there's been a whole bunch of people saying like, oh yeah, like that's another reason why I can't mess with it. Funny enough, the people who are saying this are people who obviously play The Sims. These are Simmers. These are people who've been playing The Sims for a long time. EA is also partnered up with CurseForge. I don't know if you guys have seen that one ad where it's just like, hey Simmers, stop what you're doing. Ooh, CurseForge, like da da da, you know, like that one ad. Or that other one with Delagrissi. She's another content creator in the Sims space who makes Sims content. She's like also in that ad. It's basically them just advertising CurseForge being like the one-stop shop for all your mods and all that stuff. Now, there's a tweet by Buns who basically like let it be known. She says, y'all been dragging inZOI for filth, trying to find any reason to not support the game, but someone tell you to delete The Sims for the same reason and now you're stuck. Let's stop being performative. Y'all are embarrassing. And I agree with Buns here when she says this. Shout out to her. That's the whole thing about this situation, is I feel like a lot of people are trying to find reasons not to mess with inZOI. Like, they're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And again, that's fine. Like, if you don't want to play for whatever reason, then so be it. But like, let's keep the same energy for the Sims, because again, they are partnered with CurseForge. Their ads have been floating around on YouTube for a minute now. So it's very strange people are trying to just dig up dirt on inZOI, because I feel like it's very intimidating, because the game does look very good. The gameplay itself, from what we've seen so far, looks very promising. And I feel like people are like threatened by that. I don't understand that. And it's weird too, because you think these sim loyals will want more variety in the simulation genre. Like, they would have more options to pick from. Again, having more simulation games to play is not a bad thing at all, because that's going to make the Sims work harder on giving us better content. They've been giving us quote unquote expansion packs that are $40 that are really $20 game packs. Like, again, the content that's in those packs are very fun, but it's not enough to say it's worth $40. And they can keep doing stuff like that because there's no other simulation game out there that they're competing against. They're basically competing against themselves. So why would they need to work any harder than they have to? Now, shout out to George, who responded to Buns' tweet. He said, for real though, Lil Simsy says she doesn't want to play inZOI because it's his partner with Curse Storage, but The Sims 4 is also is partnered with them. So when I read this, I was like, wait, what is he talking about? Like, I'm so confused.
Oh, I saw a bunch of spam about inZOI. Listen, I haven't played it. I haven't seen people play it really. I've been gone since the people have been streaming it a lot. I still feel the same I did about it when I first made a video about it. A little bit worried about diversity in that game. Kind of uncanny valley as per usual with these like hyper realistic life sims. But I don't know. We'll see as more news comes. But I don't know. They're also partnering with CurseForge, and CurseForge is ties to Israel and stuff. But anyway, I don't want to talk about inZOI too much. And they also have generative AI in the game, and I'm really not into that either. Lots of bad vibes about that to me. Not even heard of it? Yeah, well, yeah, well. It's okay if you haven't, it doesn't really matter that much.
Damn! I mean, damn, bro. Like, that's insane. So after George made that tweet, she actually did respond to him saying, that's not the only reason I'm a little weirded out by inZOI. It was just one example I mentioned yesterday on stream because the chat brought it up. I'm frustrated by EA's partnership with CurseForge too, which is why I don't ever promote it. And another person by the name MultiFanSF said, then that's fine, but do not mention you're not playing inZOI just because of their partnership with CurseForge, when EA also has the same partnership, and I don't see none of y'all stopping The Sims anytime soon. So it just sounds like you're being a hypocrite. And then Lil Simsy responded saying the discussion was brief and a response to the question in chat. I was also talking about how the art style isn't my preference. So that's her referring to the super realistic look of the game, which a lot of people have been saying they have issues with. She's, I'm opposed to the use of AI and I have some concerns about that diversity in the game. I didn't even say I wouldn't ever play it, just express concerns. So yeah, I definitely don't think she's being a hypocrite. I mean, this is a person here who's raised money for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. Like, that's a thing she started. So she's obviously doing great things in the community and everything. So I understand completely where she's coming from. And to be fair, right, because I feel like a lot of people are trying to like create this like narrative that Lil Simsy doesn't fuck with other life sims. Like, it's only The Sims 4 because she's a sim loyalist and she has like a relationship with EA that's been going on for so long. So all the other life sims to her are bad vibes, quote unquote. I don't think that's the case, because if you watch her Paralyzed video when they came out with that trailer basically saying they weren't gonna have like any DLC, everything was gonna be like free, she was super hyped and saying that she was gonna play it. So it's not like she's only having her loyalties towards just Sims 4. I think with this game, she meant what she said, where she just doesn't like the whole AI stuff. So I wouldn't say she's like being disingenuous or like a hypocrite, because she's hyped up other life sims games before. And again, at the same time though, you know, let's play devil's advocate for a second. A lot of people could be like, well, she's just saying this stuff because inZOI is gearing up to be better than The Sims 4. It looks like the better version of like Sims 3, but just like on crack. And it might be like the quote unquote Sims killer, like who knows? So obviously her, I guess, you know, playing the game and showcasing it could look bad in EA's eyes. And again, that's what a lot of people have been like kind of speculating. I've seen a lot of people also mention a lot of the bigger sim tubers are not covering inZOI. It's more of like the, I want to say smaller creators, because I feel like they're pretty big too, but a lot of like smaller creators, people like under like 10k, and then people with like 100k in the sim space who are like, you know, creator network people, I almost said game changers, have been covering inZOI, but not like the bigger ones like James Turner or Lil Simsy. And again, I'm not trying to say EA probably won't be pissed, because they probably will be. We know they are a money hungry company, but I don't know, this whole narrative that she's like a hypocrite or she's disingenuous, I'm not saying she's not. It could go either way. And then there's also been some conversations as well with like inZOI being like fat phobic, because in the character creator, the fat slider or whatever it's called isn't like really realistic to like people who are to like the big back community. A lot of people feel like, you know, these Zoe should represent the big back community better. Now, they did make an announcement on Discord and they said, hello everyone, we have seen many discussions related to the diversity of the character customization in the community. inZOI is still in development stage and there are many areas that need to be improved, especially we are facing some technical challenges when it comes to adjusting body shape. We are truly sorry that we are not offering the full function at the current stage. We fully understand the importance of this feature and we will try our best to bring much improved version next time. We highly appreciate your feedback and we will continue to listen to your voices and reflect them in the future. Once again, we sincerely thank everyone for all their feedback. Best Suri. So yeah, they obviously do acknowledge the fact that like when it comes to like the diversity of the character creator. They're still improving it. Again, this game is going to be in early access when it releases, so they're still going to be improving over time. I will say with the whole comment Little Simsy made as well, with the whole like it doesn't look diverse. I mean, one could argue the Sims 4 isn't really diverse. I don't think the Sims 4 represents the cultures the best they can, but I know they're trying. But it's also not just that. I feel like when it comes to this representation for Sim Bros like myself, I feel like they struggle with that a lot because and this goes beyond just cast. I just feel like sometimes these packs are catered to the Sim girlies. And I know a lot of people are kind of like, well, the Sims 4 is for the straight white girls who made this game. And I get that, I do. But at the end of the day, you guys have to understand that the straight white girls who made this game weren't the only ones playing this game back in the day. A lot of my cousins, a lot of my guy friends played Sims. You just didn't really hear about it. A lot of guys just don't talk about them playing Sims. And I feel like the Sims could do a better job representing us Sim Bros, you know? To say that the Sims 4 is like the best diverse game is kind of cap. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what's gonna happen with the Sims, inZOI, Paralyzed. Yeah, guys, please comment down below your thoughts and opinions. I'm definitely eager to see what you guys have to say in the comments about this one. If you guys made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. This has been your boy Superior Simmer. Stay cool, stay awesome, stay simming, and have a good day.
Some things you